What is up, everybody? Welcome back to racingdudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our horse profiles as we lead into the 2026 Kentucky Derby. Before I get started, make sure to go on the website every single day, racingdudes.com, for your horse racing information, free picks, and things of that variety. Also, make sure to check out the Kentucky Derby / Kentucky Oaks betting Bible, available now at racingdudes.com for sale. All right, let's get to the horse profile. And it's Wonder Dean who we're going to talk about in this one. Of course, a horse that 6 lifetime starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 2 starts this year with 1 victory. Let's look at how we got there. Let's look at the results here. A horse based in Japan, obviously, 4th on debut, then breaks the maiden, a couple of second place efforts to round out the 2-year-old season for Wonder Dean. And then as a 3-year-old, went to the Saudi Derby where he ran 4th in that race, and it was a pretty strong effort, a pretty good running of that race this year, in my opinion, there in the Saudi Derby. And then he went to the UAE Derby, and he got the job done looking very, very sharp over that Maidan race course, and a victory there in the UAE Derby that obviously propels him here to the Kentucky Derby. All Japan breeding here. The Majesty on the top out of Wonder Acute Mare on the bottom. And obviously we don't know a ton about international breeding here in the United States as far as Japan breeding goes. But I think the thing that we don't have to worry about is distance with this horse, because we just saw him run a long distance there in the UAE Derby, and he did fine, and he was closing fine. So no big deal there for Wonder Dean. I think he'll be fine running 1.25 miles based on how we've seen him run so far. Running style for this horse, I think he will kind of press the pace a bit. I think he's more of a stalker. I don't think he'll go to the lead or anything like that, but I do think he'll be up towards the front-ish. And maybe it's mid-pack, maybe it's the first flight, but kind of in the back of that first flight. That could be. But I don't think he's coming from way, way out of it. That is for sure. I think he'll be up there in a good spot. Now, one thing I always say about the international horses coming over, a lot of them do have trouble getting out of the gate. It has been a problem over and over and over at the Kentucky Derby, and then they end up not being in the spot where you think they were going to be. It's possible, but it's not a lock that that's going to happen, but it is possible. That is something to kind of consider and keep an eye on with this horse. Because he is one that is going to be experiencing the Kentucky Derby and all that goes with it for the first time, just like all of them. But it's going to be very interesting. Always is interesting to see how the international horses behave themselves. As far as Wonder Dean goes, on the negative side, I think that is one. International horse coming over. We don't really know, how that's going to translate. The horses coming from Dubai and Japan, other places, and coming and running here. You don't know how that's going to translate. Look, before the UAE Derby, I certainly knew who Wonder Dean was. I thought he was a decent enough horse, but his races other than UAE Derby really haven't been just fantastic. You don't think Kentucky Derby when you watch him in the Saudi Derby, right? But the stretch out I did think really helped him, and I think that's kind of what you're going to bank on, is like, hey, he got a lot better going 2 turns. He's going to replicate that UAE Derby race. And if he does, maybe he's in there with a little bit of a shot. I understand it. But again, you just don't know with international runners how that's going to translate here to the United States. And, again, the running style a little bit different over here as well with Wonder Dean. But look, I think, the negatives are there. We could talk about them. We all kind of know them. But, the positive, again, this horse is stretched out and did really well last time out in the UAE Derby. All right. Well, for me, I'm gonna take a pass on him at this current moment. I don't absolutely hate the idea of maybe using him on a ticket. We'll just kind of have to see who ultimately draws into the race, what the pace situation is, the post positions, all that kind of thing. At recording of this video, I'm not planning on putting him on any of my tickets though, so that's where I am right now, and we'll see if that changes. But there's too many question marks for me. The one race was good. The rest of them haven't been that great. So we'll just kind of have to see how he progresses and see how it shapes up. But for right now, I don't have Wonder Dean on any of my tickets. All right, guys, that'll do it for this preview. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, stay tuned to the channel for more Kentucky Derby news.